The book that speaks in whispers. It does not promise greatness. It does not shout truth. It does not demand to be followed. It simply exists, like water, like wind, like time. Some call it Tao, some call it madness, but the one who walks it doesn't speak, because the moment you name it, it's gone. The moment you hold it, it slips. This is not a book of answers. It is a doorway. It does not teach you how to win. It shows you how to disappear and become everything. Tao Te Ching. 81 shadows. 1 silence. Don't try to understand it. Just listen, and let what must fall. 12. The way cannot be named. The way that can be spoken is not the true way. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. What is nameless gave birth to heaven and earth. What is named gave form to 10,000 things. If you desire nothing, you will see the mystery. If you still desire, you will see only the shape. But both arise from the same source. The gateway to all truth is darkness. Darkness within darkness. The kind you don't escape from, you become. Don't try to grasp it. It has no handle. Don't try to define it. It has no edge. It is the breath before form, the trace without origin, the sound beneath silence. It cannot be owned, only followed, only felt. The way does not show itself, but it moves all things. Return to stillness. The world chases names. You return to what is nameless. The world seeks meaning. You fall back into silence. To all under heaven, beauty exists because ugliness was named. Good exists because evil was pointed out. That is why the sage does not interfere. He lets things rise and fall, without grabbing, without resisting. He creates but does not claim. He works but lets go of credit. He acts but remains still. Because when the self is empty, the heart is full. When ambition fades, the bones grow strong. When desire is gone, everything returns. Plants grow, then return to their root. Life expands, then falls back into the source. And in that falling, there is stillness. And in that stillness, there is truth. Knowing this is wisdom. Forgetting this is disaster. The 10,000 things rise and fall. But what never rises never falls. Stay with that. Act without claiming. Fill the cup too full and it spills. Sharpen the blade too long and it breaks. Chase titles and praise and they rot in your hands. So the sage works and then steps back. He builds but does not show his name. He leads but disappears from credit. Because once the work is done, there's nothing left to hold. No need to prove, no need to win. He bends and becomes straight. He empties and becomes full. He yields and becomes whole. He does not stand on tiptoe. He does not strut. He does not shine to be seen. And because of that, he endures. The world forgets those who chase. But it remembers the ones who disappeared after giving everything. Let others shout, you just do, and walk away like you never touched it. The shape of emptiness. 30 spokes meet at the hub, but it is the empty center that makes the wheel move. Clay is shaped into a vessel, but it is the space inside that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows into walls. It's the opening that gives the room meaning. What is not there is what matters most. Try to look at the Tao, and it disappears. Try to listen. There is no sound. Try to touch. Nothing is there. It is formless, nameless, endless. Yet from it comes the 10,000 things. All that breathes, all that fades, all that returns. It does not show power. It does not carry a sword. It does not wear a crown. But everything bows to its silence. Tao does not force. It forms. It does not shout. It shapes. It does not appear. But it is always present. The more you try to hold it, the more it slips. The more you try to define it, the more it vanishes. So stay close to the center hole. Let emptiness do the work. The paradox of power water is soft, but nothing breaks more stone. It does not clash, it persists, it does not fight, it flows. And in the end, it wins. That which is rigid snaps. That which is soft bends and endures. A tree that will not sway is the first to fall. A sword that never rests loses its edge. A man who cannot yield cannot last. So the sage stands by stepping back. He advances by not moving. He wins by not striking. This is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. Because force invites resistance, but stillness invites return. The sage knows what is low becomes the source of what is high. What is hidden cannot be attacked. What is empty cannot be broken. So when the world pushes, he yields. And because he does not stand in the way, he cannot be moved. Become like water. The highest good is like water. It nourishes all things and asks for nothing. It flows to the lowest places, places everyone avoids. But that's where life begins. It does not argue. It does not resist. It does not demand. Yet it shapes mountains, carves through stone, outlasts empire. Be like that. In dwelling, stay low. In speech, be true. In conflict, stay calm. In work, be quiet. In action, don't strain. No tension, no boasting, no glory, only the deep silent pressure of constancy. The sage does not try to rise above the world, he sinks beneath it. And because he does not fight for power, power cannot touch him. The world passes above, he remains below. And in that stillness, everything returns to him. This is not surrender, this is supremacy through humility. Stay unknown. Those who know do not speak, those who speak do not know. So close the mouth, dim the light, drop the opinions, sink into the dust, be sharp but not cutting, be clear but not loud, be still but never hollow. The sage blends into the background. He is not impressive, he is not seen, he is not needed. And because of that, he is free. He does not need approval, he does not argue to be right, he does not teach, he simply is. People don't understand him, they call him strange, they mock his silence, but he smiles and disappears. Because he knows, truth does not need a witness, and power that must be shown is already gone. The one who disappears, you will not see him, you will not hear him, you will not know he was here. But the field grew, the house stood, the child became strong, and then he left no name, no monument, no legacy, because he did not act for recognition. He acted because it was time. He gave but did not keep. He built but did not carve his name. He ruled but never claimed the throne. And when it was done, he was gone. This is the final teaching. When nothing remains, nothing is missing. The sage does not try to be remembered, and because of that, he never dies. He becomes the path, he becomes the silence, he becomes the one who disappears. The path without footsteps, no footprints, no dust, no sound, but something passed through here, and everything shifted. Not because it was taught, not because it was proven, but because it was lived. Soft, unseen, unshakable. The Tao is not a thing. Not a word, not a place. It is the space between things, the pause before the breath, the pull that never forces, and the one who walks it never arrives, because he never left.